Have you ever felt anxious even when nothing bad is actually happening? No clear danger, no visible threat, yet there is still a strange discomfort in your mind. This experience is extremely common, and interestingly, the cause is not actual danger itself, but something much more fundamental: uncertainty. In modern psychology, research has consistently shown that the human brain reacts more strongly to uncertainty than to a clearly defined negative outcome. In other words, not knowing what will happen next can feel more stressful than knowing something bad is coming. To understand why this happens, we need to look at how the human brain actually works. The brain is not just a thinking organ, it is a prediction system. Every second, it is constantly trying to predict what will happen next based on past experiences, and then comparing those predictions with reality. This process is known in neuroscience as predictive processing. Essentially, your brain is always building a model of the world so it can respond faster and more efficiently. In that sense, the human brain is fundamentally a prediction machine. The problem begins when prediction becomes difficult. When the brain cannot clearly predict what is going to happen, it generates what neuroscientists call a prediction error. This means something does not fit the brain's expectations, and as a result, the brain increases alertness and activates stress responses. One of the key regions involved in this process is the amygdala, the brain's threat detection system. Importantly, the amygdala does not only respond to real danger, it also responds to ambiguity and lack of clarity. So even in the absence of actual threats, uncertainty alone is enough to trigger a sense of alertness and discomfort. From an evolutionary perspective, this response makes perfect sense. For most of human history, survival depended on the ability to quickly interpret uncertain situations. Early humans lived in environments filled with unpredictable risks such as predators, unfamiliar sounds, and unknown threats in the dark. In those conditions, uncertainty was often directly linked to danger. A strange noise in the bushes could mean nothing, or it could mean a predator. The individuals who treated uncertainty with caution were more likely to survive and pass on their genes. Over time, this created a brain that is highly sensitive to the unknown. The issue is that modern humans still carry this ancient survival system, even though the environment has completely changed. Today, we live in a world that is far safer and more predictable than the one our ancestors experienced. However, the brain has not evolved at the same pace as modern society. This is why everyday situations such as waiting for a message reply, waiting for exam results, or not knowing what the future holds can feel surprisingly stressful. Logically, there is no immediate danger, but the brain still interprets uncertainty as something that requires attention. Psychological studies support this idea. When people are given a choice between a certain negative outcome and an uncertain one, many individuals report feeling more stressed by the uncertain option. In some experiments, participants even preferred a predictable, painful outcome over a smaller but unpredictable one. This shows that uncertainty itself can be more psychologically uncomfortable than actual negative experiences. The reason behind this is closely related to the brain's need for control. The human brain relies heavily on the ability to predict and understand its environment in order to feel safe. When control is reduced and outcomes become unclear, the brain increases stress signals. This is not a weakness or a flaw, it is a biological survival mechanism designed to protect us from potential threats. So, the fear of uncertainty is not irrational. It is deeply rooted in how the brain is structured and how it evolved over millions of years. Uncertainty in the past often meant danger, so the brain learned to treat it as something important. But in the modern world, this same system can become overly sensitive, making normal life situations feel more stressful than they actually are. Ultimately, humans are not truly afraid of the future itself, but of not being able to predict it. And perhaps the real question is not why we fear uncertainty, but how we can learn to live with a brain that was built for a world that no longer exists.